The March existing home sales report out at 10 a.m. Eastern this morning. Prices are expected to come down 1.7%. Mortgage rates spiking up to 6.43% yesterday as the Biden administration is planning to force home buyers with good credit to pay more for their mortgages.
Yeah, you heard a little bit of it right there. My goodness, just when you think this administration can't get any worse, they say, you know what? Hold my beer. Hold my beer. And we talk about the Yingling, all right? Hold my beer. What they are doing is just absolutely bonkers. It's bonkers. It's like we're living in like reverse land. It's like opposite. It doesn't make any sense. Like, share, comment. Hit that subscribe button if you are new. And please buckle in, because what you are about to hear is just absolutely jaw-dropping. And hopefully you're not in the market right now, because I'll just roll the tape.
We've been following this pretty big real estate headline. A Biden administration rule is set to take effect that will force good credit home buyers to pay more for their mortgages to subsidize loans to higher risk borrowers. Let's go out now to Fox Business correspondent Edward Lawrence. He has more on this from Washington.
Starting May 1st, mortgage fees on home loans backed by Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae for people with poor credit will become significantly lower, while fees jump for people with good credit. The former CEO of the Mortgage Bankers Association says this essentially subsidizes those with risky credit.
It's a bad policy step. It lacks integrity, and that's not how we should be making housing policy right now. It should not include tinkering by a regulator for their own, social or political purposes at a time like this.
For example, a person with a 620 FICO score and a down payment of 5% gets a 1 3/4 fee discount on a 30-year mortgage. But those with a score of 740 or above with 15 to 20% down will see an increase of 75% in fees from the current level. This applies to people of all income levels.
If you have a high credit score, and 680 is a good credit score, you have to pay more. And we're talking about real money. This could be $100 a month more, depending on the size of your loan. So it makes no sense.
Bill Pulte, whose family founded one of the largest home building companies, worries the new fee structure will allow more home loans to people who have trouble paying their bills, starting another housing collapse.
You got to watch it very, very carefully. I will say, though, a lot of the builders, they want to make sure that mortgage standards are tight, and they obviously control a lot of this mortgage volume. I think when it comes to the builders, they're going to be very, very careful.
A White House.
Yeah, you heard that right. So if you have a good credit score, if you've worked your behind off to make sure that you had your ducks in a row, you paid all of your bills, you kept your credit usage at a nice, low rate, you've done what you needed to do. You are a good citizen. You are now being penalized for being a good citizen. Can anybody make sense out of that one, please? Do y'all just get frustrated seeing some of this stuff? Because I know I do. I just want to scream sometimes. What the oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You're penalizing the good folks to give something good to the people who haven't done the right thing. Because as y'all heard, this allegedly applies to all incomes. Doesn't matter. Your income doesn't matter. You could be poor, you could be middle class, or you could be rich. If you got a high credit score, sucks for you, because you're going to pay some extra. You're going to pay a penalty, an extra little fee. What sense does this make? You're literally incentivizing people to say, you know what? I'm going to take my credit score. If I know that I'm getting ready to buy a house sometime soon, I'm just going to take my credit score for a little bit. I know how to get it back up, no problem. I know I have no issues paying money back. So, hey, just about to take it real quick. Get my extra discount. and going about my business. Like this is so.
Joe Biden has a new way to screw you over, and it's all in the name of equity. If you're saving up to buy a new home, the president is going to make you pay for someone else's too. His administration is rolling out a new plan that punishes people who have good credit. In many cases, they will now have to pay $40 more per month in order to subsidize loans for higher risk borrowers. Industry experts warn it will backfire.
Yes, it will majorly backfire because not only are you incentivizing people to do the wrong thing, but you're also giving the wrong people something good. They have a 620 or low 6 for a reason, or below for a reason. Now, I understand life happens, okay? Different situations and circumstance, you know what I mean? Especially in Biden's economy. You know, I get it. I understand, okay? But if you have something that low, buying a home or purchasing a home probably isn't even the best idea in the first place, because that probably means you can't pay your bills. So why are you trying to purchase a home? I'm just asking. Why can't you just go and rent an apartment? I'm just saying, until you rehabilitate your credit score. Now, yes, are there going to be outliers within that? Yes, I'm sure. Okay, we understand that, we get that, but that's life. Okay, that's life. Everything ain't always gonna be fair. Some of us were blessed with height. Some of us were blessed with athletic ability. You know what I mean? So forth and so forth. That's just life. You roll with it. But what you don't do is you don't reward people for doing the wrong thing.
One says, quote, it's going to be a challenge trying to explain to somebody that says, quote, I worked my whole life for a high credit score and I put a lot of money down and now you're telling me that's a negative? That's a hard conversation to have. Okay, you know, Joey, I heard you saying that you're just buying a new home. And in the last mortgage crisis, mortgages were given to people who couldn't afford them. I think that was in 2008. How did that work out for us?
Well, in 2008,
Bingo.
a lot of people were buying houses to put renters in them, so they weren't buying them to live in. I think the difference now is people are trying to find somewhere to live. There is a housing problem. There is a places to live problem. And you know, Geraldo and I were talking about the VA loan program going in or during the commercial break, and there's an interesting aspect there. You don't have to pay a down payment. You usually get a good interest rate, maybe not the best, but the process is way more stringent. And that's a benefit you earn. So rather than penalizing everyone who's worked hard to have good credit, literally taking money from them, why not create programs similar to that for people that can earn it? If it's teachers or doctors or nurses, maybe you can take care of a lot of these middle-class people that have had to rack up credit card debt but are paying their...
Or maybe, how about you cut these stupid little fees? Because I'm sure there's way too many people in those office buildings. Now, listen, I hate for people to lose their job. I do. Everybody got to eat. I understand that. People got families, yada, 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 so forth and so forth. I understand this, okay? I don't want to sound like I don't have a heart. But at the same time, you don't punish people for doing the right thing. Cut your fees. Why don't you just not have fees? How about that? But of course, y'all got to get rich. Y'all got to make a whole bunch of money. That's the problem. Now listen, I understand. Make some money. But I mean, they always want to talk about, you know, Biden's administration. Oh, tax the rich. Oh, we should be helping it. Well, why don't they help the people in need themselves? Have y'all ever noticed, you know, especially with this administration, they're always pointing the finger at everybody else. Hey, y'all need to help them. Y'all need to help them. Well, why don't you yourself help them? Why don't you tax yourself? Since you're all about helping the people in need and you want to ding the people who have done the right thing, why don't you ding yourself? Why don't you cut some of your expenses that you have at your place of work so you can stop charging people with these hefty fees? How about that? Of course, I'm a terrible person for how dare you consider cutting the fees? Goodness gracious.
bills by simply providing a program that maybe the banks even take some of the risk rather than the taxpayer and the federal government, with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac buying up every loan.
Well, you know, the bottom line, Dana, is that they're punishing responsible homeowners in an effort to bring in new buyers who don't have a credit score to get a loan on their own. And, you know, it kind of smacks of socialism to me.
I said, how are these new rules not anything other than socialism?
Yeah.
And from 2008, I was the press secretary then. I still have the tire marks on my back, trying to explain what a credit default swap was. And it's really hard to believe that this is happening again.
Yeah.
Because if you think about Obama and Biden when they were in the White House as president and vice president, what's the first thing they did every day? Is they got up and they had to blame George W. Bush for the mortgage crisis. The mortgage crisis, one of the reasons is because you had people who were not ready or not able to have the expensive homes that they were in. They couldn't pay the rate, and then all of it came crashing down. So I feel like Biden could write this book of how to stoke populist anger and lose re-election. Because what came out of the mortgage crisis? The Tea Party. After the Tea Party, what did you have? Then Donald Trump comes on the scene and it's like, wait a second, and he's speaking to people the way that they feel. And I think that this is a similar thing on the student loan crisis. The White House blows it off. The numbers are very clear. I think it's one of the reasons his poll numbers aren't that great. They don't actually attack any problem to solve it. They just paper over it with more regulations. This one was sneaky, very sneaky. All of a sudden this is happening. People are going to be very angry about it. It's not that you haven't heard the end of it.
Very, very sneaky. Very, very sneaky. I mean, I literally just heard about it. And apparently it goes into effect on the 1st. So very, very soon. So if you are already in the process of purchasing a home, well, good luck to you. Good luck to you, you know. Say goodbye to 1%. Just chuck up the deuce, you know, because you're going to have to pay it because you have no time. This is just absolutely ridiculous, man. But, you know, I guess at this point, should we be surprised? You know, I mean, it is the Biden administration, you know, the worst administration known to man. Now, I haven't been on this earth for very long, but a lot of you have unanimously agreed that, this is by far the worst administration. So seeing something like this, I'm not totally surprised. I'm just angry because this is just ridiculous. You're literally incentivizing people to do the wrong thing. But I mean, look at Chicago. I guess, you know, it's just a repeat of the same thing, incentivizing people to do the wrong thing. But what do I know? Y'all let me know your thoughts and your feelings about this in the comment section. Are you getting ready to purchase a home soon? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions. Like, share, comment. Hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.